Meanwhile, is Edward still on call?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to hear your voice.
Okay, that's me. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. So you can let us know when you started recording.
I started, Gloria.
Oh,
I gave
okay,
you the
great.
thumbs up.
Oh, it's well with me today. Okay, today we will be looking at cleaning and data transformation. You know, when we talk about Power BI, you know, of course, you know, we're talking about data. So today, aspect of our learning, we'll be looking at how we clean and do a little bit of transformation in the data sets that we have. Wow. This seems really, I'm supposed to drop my data sets that we'll be using. Sorry. So just give me a few minutes. While I'm talking, I will also be dropping the data sets via Teams. Okay, let me just start this way. There's a noise at the background, please. Can we mute if we're not speaking?
I muted everybody, so Gloria, please unmute yourself.
So this is what we'll be doing today. I want to take this quote by T. Scott, which says, I kind of have to be a master of cleaning, extracting and trusting my data before I do anything with it. So what we're looking at is the art of cleaning, the art of extracting our data sets before we use it. So it's actually an art that you need to get used to. You need to play around with it until you get a hang of it. So most times our data sets, when they come in, they don't come in clean, except you have data set from a structured environment data from a structured environment. Most times data sets, they are not properly cleaned. So that's why it's ideal. When Chioma was talking last week, she took us and explained to us that the ideal process is when you import your data, it is better to take a look at it. So you don't just load your data immediately. You click on the transform and do a little bit of cleaning. When you click your transform, what you're trying to do is, let me have a second look at this data. Is it really what I need to work with? Is it good enough for work before you start off? So you need to look at it. So today we'll quickly run because of our time. We just want to have a broad overview of what we'll be looking at today. We'll look at the Power Query, we'll look at our data type, we'll look at column properties, we'll look at transformation, data transformation, data cleaning, and a few other. So now we'll look at what exactly is data cleaning. Data cleaning is the process of detecting and correcting errors and inconsistencies that are in data sets. So when you look at what are the tips for data cleaning, you have to identify and correct these inconsistencies. Then secondly, there's something we call a naming convention. So you take a look at each column on your data set and ensure that that's the right name. you want to give to it, because if you don't do all of this, it's going to affect your visualization. So you remove duplicates. Most times these data sets, when they come in, they have a lot of duplicates in it. They have some missing values. The data is not actually formatted the way it is. So all of that is actually called data cleaning. I hope I'm not too fast. Then when we look at data transformation, after you have cleaned your data transformation simply involves, you restructuring your data to fit your analysis requirements. You want
Gloria, can you put this in presentation mode, please? Because we're just seeing a lot of stuff here.
Is that okay? Can you see it now?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, so data transformation involves all this restructuring. You're restructuring your data, to fit your requirements before you begin your analysis. So it is necessary for us to do this transformation, because it brings out, there's an insight you get from data. The whole essence of cleaning your data is to get an insight from it. And part of the transformation we'll be looking at how to add columns, how to rename columns, how to clean and trim is actually one of the words, and how to append and merge. We'll be able to do this and many others during this presentation. So we'll look at our Power Query. The Power Query editor is the data transformation and cleansing tool in Power BI. It's actually the kitchen of the Power BI. It is that interface where you can connect to various data sources. Last week, our facilitator showed us how we can connect to different data sources, to flat files, to Azure data sources, to the web, and all of that. So it is that interface where you connect to various data sources, where you are able to transform, shape your data before loading it for analysis and visualization. So this is actually where the work is. Most of the time you spend 80% of your time cleaning up data sets, cleaning up your data sets. Now, what can you do with your Power Query editor? One, you can get data from a wide range of sources. Like we said, Power BI can connect, with over 200 sources of data. Then on your Power Query, you can apply transformation. You can actually load, your data into your destination after you are done with all the cleaning. Now, the query editor has 4 main sections. The first one is the main data set pane. We also have where we have the list of queries. We have where you have your query setting. She showed us all of this during the presentation last week. And we have where we have the transformation menu. So we're going to be dwelling a little bit on the transformation menu today. And we're going to look at our data types. When you look at your spreadsheet, when you look at your data, those data are stored in different data types. When you look at those columns, we have what we call the text. This data type presents the textual text, such as names, descriptions, and comments. We have whole numbers in also as a data type. This type, is where you represent integers, values such as quantity, count, or ID. We also have the the decimal numbers. Just a minute, sir. We also have the decimal numbers, where the data type represents values such as what decimals, such as prices and percentage. We have the dates and the time. This data set represents sorry, my slide is just a few minutes, please. Give me a sec, sir. Sorry, I'm having Can somebody still hear me? My laptop is frozen. I don't know.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so just sorry, a few seconds. My laptop just is frozen. I'm trying to. Yes. Oh, today's.
The whole thing is not the laptop. The thing is, no, the thing was frozen. The thing was frozen. Yeah. This thing is frozen. Not in the laptop. Just seems up. I think that the problem is our baby needs to install it. You know what I'm saying now?
Too much. Let's keep this one.
You see the same thing when I click here. Click there. Use the browser, use the browser. Oh, yes.
Sorry, I noticed that my Teams is frozen, so it's not moving. Hello, Yinka, can you hear me? Hello?
Hear you. Gloria, we can hear you. Are you there?
I noticed that my Teams, it wasn't moving, it was frozen, so I needed to.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, I'm logged in. I just logged in. I'm trying to share my screen now.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I think we're here. Yinka, please, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen, Gloria.
Okay, okay. Beautiful. So we're talking about the dates and time. So you need to also save, ensure that your date and time is saved as that. So we have what we call the Boolean, which actually means data sets that you false or no values. We also have currencies. You ensure that your values, are saved as such, so that when you are trying to do your summations, you would get the right value. We have percentages and we have binaries. So you must ensure that your data set is saved in that order. There's what we call the column quality. The column quality simply refers to the reliability and the consistency of your data within a specific column of the table. So it gives you the valid, the errors, you find out if your data set has errors in them, how many of empty rows you have, and all of that. We have what we call the column profile. This is the most important feature. It provides us a more in-depth look at the data in a column. So when you click that icon, you'll be seeing an interface like this, which shows you, the number of counts, you have errors, empty cells that you have, how many distinct and unique values do you have there, and all of that. What is your minimum? What is the maximum? You will see all of that when we click on the column profile. Then we want to look at column distribution. It's just a frequency, and the distribution of values within a particular column. So when you click on all of this, you'll be seeing this interface. Now, part of the cleaning and that we talk about, we have something that we call trim. If you look at the little picture that we have, you will see these data sets, Manchester, Berlin, Acapulco, New York, but you will see that it's not properly arrayed. So when you click the trim icon, what it's actually used is to remove irregular spaces, typically within spaces in text after the context. You could see this is the data, but when we do the trim, it will all align this way. There's something we call clean. Clean removes non-printable characters. Most times, maybe when you get your data set and you're seeing things like this, what you expected to do is to just clean that data. Once you clean that data, all these non-printable characters that we see here will go out. The next one we have is to remove duplicates. Because your data sets, as when they are coming in, remember they are not clean. We said not all data sets are clean. So once you click that remove duplicate, it removes an entire row of data based on the duplicates that you have. If you look at our data set, so we have maths, appearing in 3 places. So once you click remove duplicates, it will take out the duplicate and ensure that your data set is as clean as possible. We also have remove errors. Look at our data set, look at the picture we have. On Larry, we have error. So once you click remove error, it will take it out, no matter the number of rows that you have. If it's 1,000, 1 million rows, that's the beauty about Power BI, it will just take it off. We have remove value. This actually removes the entire row of data based on the null value. Most times our data sets, you look at it, you'll be seeing null value. So you can't just begin to work or load this data set and begin to work, because once you do that, it's going to affect your data, your visualization and the output of what you would have at the end of the day. So you want to ensure that all the null values are properly taken out. So there's something we call split column. It's part of our transformation tool that we have, you know, like like what we're seeing on our screen. You know, you can have a country with the country abbreviation. Maybe for Nigeria, you have NGR, UK, Manchester, you could see all of that. So if you say split column by delimiter, it will split the data in multiple columns based on, you know, specific occurrence of the delimiter, based on what you have. So there are different sections that we can split columns. So by the time we get there, you will see what we are actually talking about. But this is just like a rough, just to give us a view of what we were about to do in a few minutes. So we have split columns, you know, we talked about that. We also have merge. You know, you could have your data set, one part of it here and the other part on the other side. So you could merge two data sets, two or more data sites based on a common value. Look at the data sets that we have here. We have table 1 and we have table 2. You know, there's something unique about table 1 and table 2. You know, there's one row that's actually, one column that's actually unique, and that's the ID column. So I have the two data sets. What I'm expected to do is to merge them. When you merge them like this, you'll be having your output will be this way, because you could have your in an organization, you could have some data stored in different places, and you need to work with all of these data sets. So you need to bring them together and use them. So we'll do that through the merge interface or using our merge. There's also what we call append. Append, it may simply mean combine two tables with the same exact column into one table. So you can combine two tables and make them one. Once you want to do that, you have to use the append. You have to click on the append and use that. So there's something also called fill. You can either fill down or fill up. No, you fill in blank data upward or downwards based on your selection. So you could see all of these data sets when we look at it. So look at Ellen 101, 102, 103, and all of that. And rather than leaving these empty spaces, I hope I'm still audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, you
I
are,
said,
Gloria. We
someone
can
can
hear
Hi,
you.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay, great, great. So you could, once you do fill up or fill down like we have here, those are your empty spaces. What it simply means, fill up these places. You can see the outputs. It will fill Ellen, Andrew, Chris, and Matt in that order. Then the next thing we'll look at is using friendly naming conventions. When you take a look at your data set, remember we said the data sets are not usually, most times, they are not clean except structured data sets. So you want to give it a name. You want to ensure that each column has a good name so that when you're doing your visualization, it actually helps you, you don't talk much because you have done your work. So the inconsistencies and user-friendly naming conventions are important consideration in Power BI because they can affect the following. One, the usability and accuracy of your data model and reports. If you don't use a good naming convention, it's going to affect. Assuming we have a column that says customer and another column that says costs and maths, and you don't look at that properly and you just load that data set and begin to work on it, it's going to affect your output. So we must ensure that we use a friendly naming convention. When you do that, it makes it difficult. If you don't use a user-friendly convention, naming convention, it makes it difficult to identify and relate data from different data sources. So you need to look at the data set and say, oh, okay, this one is actually connected to this one. But by you doing this. What are the advantages of using a user-friendly naming convention? It makes it easier for users to understand and navigate your reports. It improves the overall quality and accuracy of your reports. It can reduce the need for documentation and training. It makes your report more accessible to a wider audience. So that's the advantage. I want us to just quickly run and do the demo. But meanwhile, if you have any question based on what I've said, or you want to, you can ask. So I want to open up my Power BI. Please, why my data set is, why I'm trying to load my Power BI. If you have any question based on what we have said, you can ask. Hello, hope I'm still in the class. You show me here. Hello, Inka, Chioma, can anybody hear me?
Can hear you,
Yes,
madam.
yes,
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So we all have a Power BI here. I'm trying to bring in a data so that we could just do a demo session. Now, one thing we need to be very conversant with is how a data set is stored. If you have an Excel file or a CSV file, if you have a CSV file and you're clicking Excel, you will never get that data set. So you must ensure that you know how that data set is being saved, so that when you're calling it up on your Power BI, you are calling up the right data. If you need to work with that another data set and you're using another extension, it's not going to work. So you have problems. So we need to get ourselves conversant with that. So
say that again. I didn't get the point.
okay, you know, on our data sets, when we click get data, you know, Power BI, let me just take out this. When you come here and you click get data, this interface that you're seeing, you can see import data from Excel or an SQL server, a blank table, or a sample data set. If you also come here, you are seeing all of that. If you come here, you know, you click more, you'll be seeing more, you'll be having more information. I'm saying if your data set is Excel and you're clicking CXV, as at when you're saying get data, you will not be able to get that data. Look at what we have here. Power BI had been able to, you know, break this into 5 or 6 groups. So under the flat files, we have the Excel, the CSV, the XML, the JSON, the PDF, and all of that. Now, if I click get data, and I'm supposed to click Excel, and I click text CXV, you won't get that exact data set that you intend to work with. That's what I'm saying. So you must ensure that you know how it is saved. So right now we're going to be calling in an Excel data set. And this is the data set. I will drop this, but let's just try and follow.
Gloria, sorry, Gloria, sorry to disturb you. Are you sharing your screen?
Exactly.
Yes.
I can't see the screen. I was wondering.
So sorry. This thing is saying it ran into a problem. Please, can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes,
It's good.
yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. This Teams is really acting up today. So I've called in this data set. I'm going to click, remember our facilitator, Chioma told us that the ideal thing to do is to transform data rather than loading it directly. So the best practice is to click to transform your data set. Now we're going to look at this data set. We just give it a few minutes. When you click your transform data, when you click on that icon, it brings you into the kitchen. It brings you into what we call the Power Query editor that we spoke about. You know, we spoke about the different interfaces that we have in the Power Query editor. We have the queries, setting, you know, the applied step, and where we do our normal work. Now let's quickly look at this data set. This is a data set. Now you have been given this data set. Please, let's take a few minutes to look at it and let's quickly talk about it. What do you think this data set is all about? Please, let's try and speak up so that we'll run fast. Jumi, Edward, let me be calling names. Please, somebody should just unmute. What do you think this data set is all about?
Good evening, everyone. So
Hi,
I think the
Motayo.
data set, okay, so I think the data set is about sales, like the sales each salesperson made.
Okay, that's beautiful. Is it a monthly sales, a daily sales, or what is it?
We can't see the report anymore.
You're not seeing my screen anymore, my Power BI anymore.
We can see it now. You went up for a while. You can see it now.
Okay. Okay. So it's Motaya says it's a sales report. Now this report, fine. We have seen that it's a sales report. Is it a monthly report, a daily report, or what do you think?
I think it's daily.
I
Okay,
think it's a
daily
monthly
report.
report.
Is it monthly?
I think it's a monthly report.
Okay, monthly, daily. But let's take a very good look at it. We have 2018 0101, 2018 0102,
02.
2018
That's like it.
0103.
Yeah.
That's
It's
like
a
a what?
daily report. A
So it's a
daily report.
daily
Yes,
report.
daily.
So it's a daily report. Remember, I said 80% of the work you will do as a data analyst is really here. It's here in the cleaning up of the data. So we have established that this is a daily report. So it looks like, okay, this is a, it has some sales persons and maybe distributed in a region. So we can see north, south, east, and west. So having looked at this report, we need to start cleaning this report. Ideally, when you bring in reports, most times you'll see on your applied step, any step you take, it will be recorded here. I want to uncheck this change data type, and promoted headers. Because why I'm doing that, because my sale for 2018-0101, I want it to come down. Now, once we have done that, I'm going to look at this report again. Sales for 2018-0101, and I'm also have sales for 2018-0102. I intend to separate all of this. So I'm going to add another column to this report. So I'm clicking here. I hope you can see where I am, add column. Power BI would ask, what kind of column do you want to add? There are different, there are column from example, custom column, invoke. I want to say from the selection. What it actually means is just this column where that is highlighted, the sales persons column. So I said from selection. So Power BI will give me another column, but I need to supply what needs to be there. So you have to be very careful. So I'm going to put 2018 0101. So I'm saying from this column, just give me that sales. So if you click the enter button, it will ask you, so is this what you intend to do? So I said, yes. Okay, I'm going to click OK. So it's going to replicate that same column that I have here on this aspect. So once I have done that, but what I intend to do, I only want, the names are already here, but I only want the dates for each of these transactions to appear on this side. So if I change, this is where, we talked about our data type. On this column, all of these places where you can see where I am. Once you click this drop down, it's going to show you, it's going to bring out all your data type. Remember, we talked about decimal, fixed decimal, whole numbers, percentage, dates, and all of that, true or false, where we talk about the Boolean. So this is where you could also do those transformations. So based on where I am now, I want to change it. All I want is a date. So if I say date, you can see it has picked the date because those names are there showing errors. Remember, we talked about replacing errors. If you right click on where you are on that same place, if you right click, you'll be seeing this icon. Copy, change type, transform, replace values. These are part of the transformation and cleaning we can do. So I'm going to say replace errors. So the next question Power BI will ask is, which of the errors, what do you want to replace them with? I want to replace those errors with null. Remember, I have null here, so I'm just going to say okay. And on this same place, remember we spoke about fill, you could fill up or fill down. So what it has done is, where we have those null, it simply filled it up where we have, so the sales for that particular day, you could see 01/01/2018, 01/01/2018, and right here we're seeing 01/12/2018 and down, so to the aspect where we have 1/3/2018. So these are part of the cleaning that we're talking about. Now, when we also go, let's take a look at our column 2. We have column 2, so we have null, not, and all of that. So if you click on this icon, on this place is your data type. On this, there's a small button here. If you bring this button down, it will show you all the things that you have on that column. What I intend to do, I want to remove the null that is there. I hope we're following. So once you uncheck the null that is there, and I will click OK, you could see it has taken away the null. My data set is looking a bit cleaner than when we brought it in. So I'm seeing not and some figures under the not. So these are ways that we clean data set. So our data set is taking shape. Now you could also come here. We're seeing salesperson, James, and total. I want to take away this total so that I can have my salesperson. If you look at it very well, so I'm seeing all of the names. Total is not a name. So I've taken away that total from our data set. There's what we call use first role as headers. If you look at this data set, here we have salesperson, we have north, east, south, and west. If you look at the top, we have column 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you leave this and load your data set and begin to work on it, when you want to do your visualization, what Power BI will pick, you'll be having column 1, 2, 3 in that order, but that's not what we want. So you come to the home button. On the home button, look at this icon here. There's use first role as headers, or use headers as first role. So what do you think it is used? We want to use our first role, which is a salesperson, north, east, south, west, as our first, as our headers. So once you tap that button, Power BI will automatically, you could see it has moved, it has done that transformation for us. So our data set is actually looking cleaner. Now let's quickly go to this not column. I have not here, and I also have not. I don't want this not, and also if you look, go around, you see that also in it. That column is not. So I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to take that from it. I have all the figures. So when you scroll down this way, if you uncheck the not and you click OK, you could see it has taken. So our data set is looking cleaner. So it has taken away the north, the south that we have inside the column, and the headers are speaking to what we have. So this data set is getting cleaner as we continue. Then I also want to change this here to, this is
Excuse
a transaction.
Me, sorry, please.
date.
Can you? Hello, ma.
Yeah, I can hear you, please.
So please, can you go back? The last step you just made just now, the cleaning you just made now, I'm kind of confused. I'm so sorry.
No problem. No. Now look at the steps here. Whatever steps you took, you are talking. So I'm going to uncheck these filter rows. This is what you're talking about.
Yes,
Hello?
ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Okay. I said, if we look at these columns that we have, the north, the east, the south, the west, the head of the column, the column head is already north. On the other column, we have east, south, and west. But if you look inside the data set, you are still seeing north. You are still seeing east. You are still seeing west and all of that. So I said, just come to this place. Did you get up to this point?
Following you, ma. I'm following.
Okay. So once we do that, scroll down, look for where you have north, uncheck it. And once you click OK, it will take it out. So it's filtered the rows to take out that which we don't want. You can see that the data set is becoming taking shape and is looking better than what we have before. So you're having salesperson, north, east, south, and west. And we're having 1/1/2018. These are part of the naming convention that we're talking about. What does this mean? This whole column probably is the transaction dates that each of those sales were made. So you can either right click and you will see rename here, or you double click at the top and rename that particular column. So I want to name this column. Remember, I said you can either right click on that column, go down the transformation, the cleaning icons that we have. You can click the rename, or you can just go there and double click and change it to whatever name you intend to call it. So transaction. I'm going to say transaction date. So these are ways that we clean, and I click OK. And it will change to that. Any step that you take in Power BI, it will be recorded here on this applied step. If you intend to, oh, I made a mistake, I don't want, you can come and check that, and you will get to the point where you intend to start all over again. Then look at, we're going to look at our data type. Remember I said on this icon, that's where we have our data type. So our salesperson is recorded as text. So if you click, you can see the ABC icon, which shows his text, so his name. But look at our notes, is recorded as text, but what we have underneath it is not text. We have figures, so we'll change it to what? Whole numbers. And you do the same for the north, the east, the south. Just change your that data type to whole numbers. Probably that's the sales from the salesperson from the south, but is being recorded as a text. So if you are trying to do summation, it's not going to work. So we change this to whole numbers. So our data set is looking clean. So look at our salesperson. You can also, I prefer, you can also drag this salesperson. I want to put this here. If you want to do that, all you need is to just click on that particular column, press your control key, and you move it to whichever place you want it to be. So our data set is looking, it's taking a little bit of shape. You could also, all of this, north, east, south, and west. You could do what we call, you could just press your control key, pick the 4, then you can right click and you say on pivot columns. So you could see it has matched those columns that we spoke about, those 4 columns. You could see that So on this attribute, so we have north, east, south, and west, we can rename this to the region. And why this value, maybe the amount or the quantity of goods that was sold. So we can put this amount. So these are part of the cleaning that we're talking about. You could see that the data set is looking cleaner than the way it was before. And also when we have a data set that have white spaces in between them, just remember what I said. If you right click on it, you can just on your transform button, on this transform, there are things you intend to change it to lowercase, uppercase, you want to capitalize each word, you want to trim, you want to clean, and all of that. You could do all of that. So we'll play around with this. We have done fill, we have done what did we do again? We have done fill, we have done replace null, we have done replace values, and a little bit of that. So it's just things that we need to play around with, and you'll just get, I know once you start working on it, you will get a hang of it. So also we spoke, so this is our data set. Remember, once you're done in the Power Query, you will come to your home button, you click close and apply. What it simply means that I think I'm done with my cleaning. I want to leave the kitchen. I want to now start doing my visualization. I want to now start working. So if you click close and apply, what it simply means, Power BI will close that aspect of work that you have done and bring it. You could see it's bringing in our data sets back to your Power BI desktop. So just give it a little bit of so far, is it clear? Am I alone?
It's clear from us. It's clear.
You're not alone.
Not at all, ma. You're not alone.
Okay.
It's clear.
Okay. Okay.
For me, it's
That's
not
good
so
to
clear,
hear.
but I have the assurance that when I replay, I should be able to, process it better. Thank you for a great job.
Okay. Okay, that's good to hear. So now we're on the Power BI desktop. You can do whatever visualization you intend to do. Once you click like this, all the columns that you have under there. We have amount, region, salesperson, transaction date. So you could see all of that. Then the second thing we will do, we will talk, remember we talked about append and merge queries. So we'll just quickly run through how do we merge two different data sets and begin to work with that. I will drop the data set once we're done with the class so that we could try our hands on it. And by the time we come back next week, we'll be able to see how we're able to follow and where we have challenges. So I'm just bringing in my Power BI data, opening another Power BI data set so that I will be able to do amend and append. I hope I'll be able to do that. Yeah. Please, this Power BI should come up. Okay, so my Power BI is open. I intend to bring, remember you can get your data from here, once you click get data here or from this place, no matter where you click, we'll go to. So I want to bring in a text CSV file. So this is what I'm talking about now. I clicked a text CSV file, and that file is not text CSV. So I'm trying to open it. I'm not seeing anything. So I just want to go back. Let me click the Excel workbook. Okay. Are you seeing what happened? Hello? Remember I spoke about, the way we saved our data. So I clicked on a text CSV file, and I was trying to bring it in, and it's saying I can't see that file. So I'm going to bring this file in, staff data. It's trying to establish a connection with that data set. And once it's done, it's going to give me a preview of what I have. Okay, so this is my data set. I'm going to click transform, take a look at the data sets, and I've clicked on transform. Please let's pay attention. So this is my data set. So you could go through all of that. Okay, so look at our naming convention that we talked about. My data set is showing table 1 general. If I leave it like this, by the time I load my data set, it's going to be showing that way. So you can also come here. If you right click, you can rename from here. I want to rename this data set to just maybe general data. I don't want that table 1 to be in front of it. If I click OK, that's one way to rename while you are on the Power Query, and you're trying to, while you're trying to rename the query, you can find out that on this side it has changed, and you'll be seeing also here that it has changed. Now remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to merge 2 different data sets into one. So I'm going to bring in that same another data set. Now, if you're on the Power Query, you don't need to go to, you can also bring in another data set while on the Power Query. So all you need to do, come to this list, click on Home, you will see New Source. So once you do that, click whichever data set you want and bring it in. So I've clicked on this. Did anybody notice anything? I need us to be very careful. So this is the data set. Let's say this. Let's just run the preview. So I have no, maybe let me take the table. So I'm going to hit the OK button. Did you notice there is no load transform there? What we have was just OK, because while I'm already in the Power Query, I'm trying to bring in another data set. And I just mentioned that we can either rename from here, or you can also do that renaming from this. Let's rename from this side. I want to take away this table 1 and just put personal. So we have done it from both sides. You could see that on this side too, we have personal and general data. Now, when you take a look at your general data, you have, you must spend time trying to understand what is this data set like. So let's quickly go through it. If you look at it, you'll be seeing email address, surname, first name, title, middle, initial, street address, city, zip code, telephone numbers, gender, date of birth, the last checkup. Now let's quickly go to the personal. If you click on the personal, we're also seeing the email address, we're seeing the occupation, blood type, weight, the height, maybe the credit card type, when the credit card will expire. What does this data set speak to? What kind of data set is this? Please, let's speak up. We don't have so much time.
I think it's
I just need one or two persons to talk.
I think it's
Yeah, you said?
medical details of personnel, of persons.
Beautiful. So it's the medical details of persons. So you can see, but these data sets, they are saved in different files. So that's why we're having them here. But we intend to work with all of them, and we intend to bring them in as one data set. So what we will do at this, and having brought in this data set, we want to merge this data set. So if you come and you click transform, if you look, sorry, I'm looking for my merge queries. So you'll be seeing merge where my merge queries. Please wear down. Again. Sorry, you click on your home. So look at this icon here. Sorry, please not. You click on your home. So you have merge queries, append queries. So I want to merge these queries. So if you put down, it will be asking you, do you want to merge the queries or you want to merge as new? So I'll click merge as new. I prefer to do that now. So I'm on the general data. So which the query, probably I would ask, do you intend to merge? Merge it with the personal. So there must be a matching fields. You can see the email addresses are the same. Just give it a little bit of time. So this selection matches 1,106 of, so good. So just click OK. Once you do that, Power BI will merge those queries for you. So you can see our query here is showing merge one, but I don't want it to be merge one. I would click, if you right click on it, you can rename. So we could, what name can we use now? So let's use client, maybe about data. Remember we talked about our naming convention. So maybe I'm working at, okay, these are all my clients. So I brought these two data sets together. Now, but when you look at it, where is the data set that we merged? So we have email, surname, which is what we have before, but we merged that data set with personal. And you can see that that personal is showing here, there's a table. But if you look at this icon here, if you look at this icon here, you know, if you drop this down, it will bring down all the table that is there. So it's saying what we have there is email address, occupation, blood type, the weight, the height, the credit card and all of that. So I already have email address and I don't intend to bring in another email. You can select it and begin to pick what you want. Probably I just want the occupation, the blood type, the weight, and the height. Those are just what I want from that table. So if you click OK, that's just what it's going to bring in, so that we'll begin to do your work. You can see, so let's quickly scroll down. We just brought in this form, but it's showing that occupation, I brought it from this file, personal file. So you can rename, so that you don't have personal occupation, personal blood type. So when you're doing your visualization, you have so many explanations to do. So that you save your time, save yourself that time. So I'm just going to right click here, take away the personal, and let's have just the occupation, and do the same for this. We'll have the blood type, just weight, and so height. So this is our data is looking cleaner. We have merged these data sets. But if you load these data sets, you'll be having general data, personal, and client data. Remember that this is a client bio data that we intend to work with. So what we do, if you right click on the general data, you will see where it's enable load. If you uncheck that, what you're trying to say is, yes, I've gotten my client's bio data, but don't load these other ones for me. You could see it will still be showing on your Power BI desktop, but when you load it to Power BI, your query editor, but when you load it, it's not going to go to the desktop. So you could do that. Once you load it, you will notice that it will change, and it's written somehow like in it clicks, you know. So we are going to uncheck that. Don't load. I don't intend to load with it. So this is the data set that we have merged. Once you're done working, the next thing to do is just to close and apply. Once you do that, it takes you straight to the Power BI desktop. And on the Power BI desktop, you will notice that the general data and the personal data didn't come. It's only our client's bio data that will be coming with us to the desktop. So this is how we merge different data sets to work with. So just give it a little bit of time. It is to load, and we'll see that our data set is in. The other thing that we will do is append. Hope I still have that time to quickly finish this. But so far, do we understand all this basic ones that we have done? Somebody should talk to me.
Yes, we kind of, for me, somehow, I have.
Okay, so our data set is in. You can see, okay, what we have is our client's val data, and that's what came in. So we have all of that, and then you can try to save your next week. We'll be taking a look at your work, a few minutes to check how we're able to fare with all of this. The last thing we intend to do, I hope I'll be able to do that in the next few minutes. I intend to bring in some file and do a little bit of Append. I don't know, Yinka, do I still have time? Do I go on?
You have 5 minutes on the clock. So I don't know, maybe we'll do this next week because we usually don't want the class to be longer than 2 hours.
That's 2 hours. Okay, let's quickly ask our question.
Okay then.
I'm so sorry. Try the logging in. That took a bit of our time. Please, let's quickly ask our question so that the class does not extend beyond that our time. I'm all ears.
Hello.
Please, if you have questions.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Okay,
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, please, can I ask,
Yes,
when you're imputing or when you're merging files, must they be in the same format? For example, if it's you're merging an Excel file and a CSV file, must it be Excel to Excel or CSV to CSV or just
no.
Okay.
No. You can bring in, that's the beauty of Power BI. You can connect to different data sources. As long as you brought in the data set in Power BI, you can merge them. So it doesn't have to be Excel to Excel, CXV to, CXV and all of that. It's just for you to know how that file is saved before you call it in. As long as you're able to call it in Power BI, then you could do your merge. I don't know if I answered that question.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Okay. Please, let's ask our question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay,
Amanda.
sorry. Okay, this is Jumoke. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Julie.
Okay, sorry. I just want to confirm, when you close and apply, when you finish with the Excel and you close and apply, I didn't quite get how you saved it on the Power BI.
No, if once you close and apply and you are finished working with that particular file, just the same way you save your information on your laptop, you just give it a name. You can just save. That's what you just click. Maybe you are done working, maybe you have done your visualization and you want to save. Once you click save, just give it a name and it will save.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other? Any other question? Thinking I'm done.
Okay, then if there are no other questions, we would meet same time next week, Saturday. Let me just cross-check that there's nothing in the chat or okay.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, please, how can we get the data set that was used in class today?
I'll drop it on our Teams right away.
Okay.
Please, I have a question about the teams. Lanyinka, this is to you, please. I have still not been added. I can see that I'm no longer a participant on the team. So all the materials going to the teams, I'm unable to access. Please help me look into it. Like I said last week. Thank you.
Message your Discord 2 different times last week. Please reply
What?
my message. I sent you a message on your Discord and you did not reply to me. So maybe if I get that response.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll check it. My network has been bad where I went to. Now that I'm back, I'll check it. I'm sorry about that. And thank you, Gloria, for a great presentation today.
Okay, please, I'm going